The United States prides itself on being a democracy where every citizen has a voice. The foundation of this ideal rests on the right to vote. In the 2024 election, over 244 million Americans were eligible to vote, yet 89 million stayed home. This gap reveals a critical challenge for our democracy. Marginalized voters, often facing systemic barriers, are consistently underrepresented at the polls. Understanding and addressing these barriers is crucial to building a more inclusive and representative democracy. Marginalized voters are not a monolithic group. They come from diverse backgrounds and face a range of challenges that hinder their ability to vote. In essence, they are individuals and communities who are systematically disadvantaged or excluded due to their race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, gender identity, disability, income level, or educational attainment. They are our neighbors, colleagues, and fellow Americans who are often overlooked and underserved by the systems designed to protect and empower them. Racial and ethnic minorities constitute a significant portion of marginalized voters. African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, and Native Americans often encounter obstacles to voting, ranging from discriminatory voter ID laws to a lack of accessible polling places in their communities. Furthermore, LGBTQ+ individuals, people with disabilities, and those from low-income backgrounds are also disproportionately affected by voter suppression tactics and systemic barriers. Whether it's a lack of access to transportation, difficulty obtaining necessary identification, or limited language assistance at polling places, these challenges prevent millions of Americans from making their voices heard. The 2024 election revealed the ongoing challenges faced by marginalized voters. While overall turnout was 63.5%, marginalized communities and young people participated at much lower rates. Racial and ethnic minorities made up 40% of the population, but their voter representation lagged behind. Young voters, especially from marginalized backgrounds, were also underrepresented. Americans with disabilities faced barriers like inaccessible polling places and voting machines, leaving many unable to vote. These disparities highlight the urgent need for more inclusive and accessible elections. Despite the numerous barriers they faced, marginalized voters still played a significant role in the 2024 election. While their turnout was, lower than desired, their voting patterns provided valuable insights into their political leanings and the issues that resonate most with them. Understanding these patterns is crucial for political parties and candidates seeking to engage these communities and address their concerns. Exit polls and voting data revealed that a majority of marginalized voters supported the Democratic candidate, Kamala Harris. For instance, 86% of Black voters and 86% of LGBTQ+ voters cast their ballots for Harris. These numbers highlight the importance of these communities to the Democratic coalition and the potential consequences of neglecting their concerns. However, it's worth noting that the support for Harris among Hispanic and Latino voters, while still a majority at around 60%, was down from previous elections. This shift underscores the importance of understanding the diversity within marginalized communities and the need for tailored outreach efforts that address the specific concerns and priorities of each group. The reasons behind the low voter turnout among marginalized communities are complex and multifaceted. It's not simply a matter of apathy or disinterest in the political process. Rather, it's a complex web of systemic barriers, socioeconomic factors, and historical injustices that have created significant obstacles to political participation for these groups. One of the most significant barriers is economic hardship. Low-income individuals often work multiple jobs, lack reliable transportation, and face childcare challenges, making it difficult to take time off to vote. These challenges are compounded by the fact that many states hold elections on Tuesdays, a workday for most Americans, further disadvantaging those who cannot afford to take time off. Furthermore, educational disparities contribute to the knowledge gap about voting procedures, deadlines, and candidate platforms. Limited access to information and resources can leave marginalized communities feeling disempowered and unsure of how to navigate the complexities of the electoral process. The underrepresentation of marginalized voters at the polls has profound implications for our democracy. When a significant portion of the population is consistently excluded from the electoral process, it undermines the very principles of representation and equality upon which our nation was founded. Moreover, it results in policies and priorities that fail to reflect the needs and aspirations of a diverse and evolving electorate. Imagine the potential for change if we could harness the untapped power of marginalized voters. If these communities voted at rates proportionate to their representation in the population, it could dramatically alter the political landscape. It could lead to greater investment in social programs, more equitable economic policies, and a stronger emphasis on social justice issues. In short, it could create a more just and representative democracy that works for everyone, not just the privileged few. Addressing the systemic barriers that prevent marginalized communities from fully participating in the electoral process requires a multi-pronged approach. It demands a collective effort from policymakers, community organizations, and individuals to dismantle the obstacles that stand in the way of a more inclusive democracy. One crucial step is to expand voter registration efforts, particularly in underserved communities. This includes making voter registration easier and more accessible, such as implementing automatic voter registration and same-day voter registration. Additionally, we must invest in voter education campaigns that provide clear, concise information about voting procedures, deadlines, and candidate platforms in multiple languages. Furthermore, we must address the systemic issues that create barriers to voting, such as poverty, lack of access to transportation, and discriminatory voter ID laws. This includes advocating for policies that promote economic justice, improve access to transportation, and ensure that all eligible citizens can exercise their right to vote free from discrimination or intimidation. By working together to dismantle these barriers, we can create a more just and equitable democracy that reflects the true diversity and potential of our nation.